beautiful people. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for stopping by. If this is your first time, welcome. This is Obodooyinboconnect TV. My name is Bree, and what we do here, we talk about issues that affect Africans who live in the diaspora. Thank you so much. If you have been watching and you are yet to subscribe, or this is your first time, please don't forget to subscribe. There's a red button. The red button down there, and if you hit on the bell sign, you get notification whenever I post the videos. And as you know, for all your occasion dresses, birthdays, weddings, party, celebration, graduation, everpretty.com is your plug. I mean, these people have really fantastic occasion dresses, any occasion whatsoever. Bridesmaid, mother of the bride, mother of the groom, the kind of dresses they have there. I'm telling you, these dresses, they look, and they are made very well. They look really expensive, but on this website, and with the discount they normally give me for you guys, you get it at a very discounted price, really affordable prices. So yeah, this is red. Red is one of my favorite color. I love red, and I hope you remember everpretty.com or .co.uk whenever you need those dresses for those special occasions. So I received an email from a young lady. I'm going to read it. It's a bit long, but I feel like it is better for me to read it instead of paraphrasing so that you guys can understand. It's quite long. Okay, we're going to read it. It's about parenting and mothers. So she's sharing her own experience, the experience she has growing up, and how her mother didn't raise her, and how basically her mother did not accept her, and the impact this has had on her life. And I did a video where I was talking about toxic African parenting a while ago. YouTube did not monetize that video because what the young girl did was, like, you know, she deleted herself. And those are the sort of things that YouTube frowns upon. They don't want you to talk about things like that, but these are very important. So I didn't even care. I just removed the monetization and I shared it. It's still on my channel if you check. It's just a couple of weeks ago. So I will read this email and then we'll talk about it. She said, I am Congolese and my mother had me young. I just want to say she had me between when she was 20 or 21 years old. All of her siblings came to the US for university as international students at that time, but she was the only one that didn't come with them because she was pregnant with me. So eventually we came to the UK, we came to the US in 2006. We lived with our uncle and his wife for a time, and his wife always treated us well. Growing up, my mother never seemed like a mother to me, but more like a sister. When we go out in public and she runs into people that she knows from her community, she will tell them that I am her sister. And being young, I was convinced that it was because of how our documents were coming to this country. However, as I got older, I learned that she was doing this because she was still ashamed of letting people know that she was my mother and that she had a child at that young age. To be honest, 20 is not that young if you live in this part of the world where children as early as 16, 14 self, they have children. So 20 is really not that young, but this is Africa. So she said she later got married, and by this time my grandparents had also come to the US. When she got married, she did not include me in her wedding. She moved to another city with her new husband. And this was really hurtful for me because I felt like she abandoned me and chose him over me. Growing up, my dad was always a mystery. She never mentioned him. I grew up being very angry and bitter towards my mom because in the beginning, it was just us, and she got married, and then she started a whole new life without me. I grew up and I was able to go to university, and it is when I met so many young women that would naturally gravitate towards me, and they became like mother figures to me, and that's when I was able to see and understand what it's like to have a loving, genuine people that care about you. My mom went on to have a son, and she acts like this is her only child. She even goes around telling people that she only has one child. And things like this are very hurtful for me. In 2018, during my junior year of undergrad, someone reached out to me on Facebook, and it was my dad's brother, only for them to tell me that my dad had died 2007, and that my mom knew about this entire time. She knew about it, but she never told me. My mom had known this entire time and had finally reached out to them and gave them permission to reach out to me. She said this news seriously disturbed her, that she could go on with her life like that and not care to tell her at all. When I confronted her about it, she said to me that America has brainwashed me, and that if we were still in Africa, I would not have the guts, or I would not have made a big deal about it, that these things happen back home and people just move on, and basically told me that I should just move on. So no information about her biological dad, no information about her, who her father was. The mom, ashamed of her, didn't want to recognize her, told people that she had only one child, and basically trying to hide her. Is like an ugly past that you're trying to hide. And I can see why this young woman was feeling so traumatized. And she said that she completely disregarding the fact that she didn't bother to tell her about him until the day. And she never sat down with her and told me anything about my father. And she never sat down with me and told me anything about my father. I only know bits and pieces, and it's from his brother on Facebook. Anyway, I had to block my dad's family on Facebook as they began to start asking me for money and help, despite me being 20 years in university. You see, this is the other side of the equation. African people now, they find their brother's lost child, and the only thing they can think of is to be asking her for money because she lives in America, and in their very myopic thinking in the Congolese, and generally in Africa, they think that because she's in America, even though she's only 20 years old, that she's rich, she's got money for them. She said, during this time I became very depressed. That was when my eyes opened and I realized that my family dynamics were not the same as my other African friends. Despite these very common toxic African household issues everyone complained about, mine was not like theirs, because by the time I realized that my friends were beginning to have great relationship with their parents, mine was getting worse. Throughout my undergrad, I was able to get many internship and great job opportunity. And that was when I began to see my mom trying to be kind to me. This is when I started to see my grandparents asking me for money, and it really hurt because compared to my friends, their parents helped them out financially. Their parents will come to them and bring them food. They will be excited to go home during holidays, and that wasn't my experience. My family never really supported me. I had to work different jobs to support myself. Fast forward to 2019, I graduated and ended up getting a great job in finance as an analyst. My mom refused to pay for any of my graduation things as she claimed she didn't have any money. Despite being a nurse, she didn't even congratulate me when I graduated. When the pandemic happened, we were hit really hard and our company transitioned to working from home. This is when my mom reached out to me and asked me to move back home. She convinced me that I would be able to save money, pay back my student loans, and prepare for grad school. Those were my plans, and I eventually agreed. My goal was only to be doing this job for a year and eventually go to grad school to get my master's. And she goes on to say, since living here, my mother makes my life so difficult. She works third shift and sleeps all day. I soon later learned that her goal was really for me to move here to help her with the house and to raise my brother, which is ridiculous. When I told her no, that I'm trying to work and save money, this is when she began asking me to pay bills around the house. When I refused, she started telling me that it's not fair for me to be making money and not using it while she has to work and pay bills. She said I needed to start getting my own groceries. This really hurt me since I've been here. She's planned and gone on trips with my brother and stepdad, and she didn't even invite me to any of these trips that they go on. This really hurts me because at the end of the day, I never asked to be here. This is really sad. She said, I never asked to be here. It's like my existence is a burden onto her. She buys my brother things, goes all out for him, and even told him about my dad. Can you imagine? My brother knows about my dad than me, and she told him not to tell me. I'm sharing my story because I want people to know that stories like mine exist. You are not alone, my darling. You are not alone. I've heard that my mother was punished and isolated for having me so young. Her siblings and everyone despised her for tarnishing the family's image. This is where all the backlash comes from. So she tarnished the family's image. It's as if she resents me for it. I would like to know your feedback on what I should do moving forward. I've been trying to save money. It just seems like a lot of pressure is on me. Now I have my grandparents who are elderly, and there's so much pressure to give them money because they took care of me growing up. I'm so tired of it all. I just feel like everyone just takes and takes from me. I'm planning on leaving and moving far away from her. I just know that I'm going to need intense therapy for all that I've been through. Thank you in advance. I look forward to hearing from you. Aww. Very, very intelligent young woman. Quite intelligent. So, my dear darling, oh, I feel like she's under a lot of pressure and she needed someone to talk to. She really, sometimes, just having somebody to open up to just pour out your heart to is great therapy. It's what they call talking therapy. The person might not have solution, no, like I may not even have anything to say to her that will change her situation or change her circumstances, but just having that opportunity to talk to me, it can release some of the built up stress, anger, anxiety, and depression that she's feeling, because she feels that her mother does not love her. Now, these are the main issues of this matter. But in Africa, we know how it is. I can certainly speak of Nigeria. It seems like our culture is similar everywhere in Africa. But the funny thing, as I was growing up, a lot of young girls were getting pregnant. It's not today that teenagers got pregnant. Not today. But it depends on the family. When your family have really high hopes and expectations, I use myself as an example. My mom had really high expectations of me. And her main thing was she wanted me to have an education. This was non-negotiable. Just go to university. Anyhow. And so, when I got to, we didn't have senior secondary school then, what they call, we used to be from 1 to 5. Those of you who are Nigerians will understand. So that's like, from 5 was the final year in secondary school. That was when I started having boyfriend. I had my first boyfriend. Hey, when my mom found out, I cannot even explain the hell that she put me through. It was like she was going to kill me. You are following boys. Because to them, I have a better understanding of it now. To them, having a boyfriend equals getting pregnant. Getting pregnant as a young woman in Africa equals your life is ruined. You cannot achieve anything anymore. You cannot go to university. And to my mom, that was the worst thing that can happen if I cannot go to university. So she was overprotective and she dealt with me squarely. When they say squarely, she dealt with me. I will never forget. My point is, African parents are very protective. And the reason why they are so protective is because of fear. When they are raising their children, knowing the background that, they want their children to do well. They want their children to be successful. They want their children to have an education. So it's that fear that translates into a lot of, harsh upbringing that they give their children. So I can understand why the mom getting pregnant at 20 was isolated by the family. Her sisters and her other siblings were going to the US to go to school. But she was like the shame. She's the one that brought the embarrassment to the family, so she was left behind in Africa. When the baby was born, which is this young lady we're talking about now, the baby is given to grandmother, her parents, to raise. So now, it's like they are giving her opportunity, go and start life again, but it's like you don't have a child. I wish we knew a little bit more about the circumstances of how, she met the father. She didn't talk about it. Obviously, she doesn't know much about their relationship. But I want to assume that it was like all this, childhood relationship, childhood affair, first love. Will be sweeting you, but you know nothing. Your parents will not tell you about protection, which is why I feel like, this is all they knew. But now, if you have a 20-year-old daughter, you'll be telling her about protection. because you don't want her to go and get pregnant, and you don't want to be, fooling yourself to think that if you tell her she's not going to have a boyfriend, she's not going to start having sexual relations. You might be wrong. So now we know better to teach our daughters about preventing pregnancies, unwanted pregnancies. So she got pregnant. Now I can imagine the shame, the embarrassment, and the snide remarks in Africa, the way they will make you feel as if you've committed one offense that is getting pregnant was a big deal growing up. I know. But you know what? There are some other families that getting pregnant, they had their babies, their mothers didn't even do jack. But guess what? Going back to the village for me, when I went back to my village in 2019 and I saw those same girls that we went to secondary school together, I'm glad my mom was firm with me, because I just cannot imagine, being stuck in that village, married to one farmer or one bricklayer or one mechanic, and just having a bunch of babies, and that's the end of your life. So I have an understanding why the mom, the experience that she had and how tough it was for her. But having said that, it is not an excuse for you to transfer whatever frustration, whatever anger, and whatever pain you have on your child. Like she rightly said, she didn't ask to be born. You took that decision, whether you were naive or knowingly or unknowingly, whatever. You slept with a man. Even if you didn't know the consequences. Ignorance is not an excuse. You slept with a man, you had a baby. Now this child is born. You don't want the child. But the baby is here. So I feel like when the mother now matured, she came to the US with the child, she should have accepted that child and loved her. She should have. It is very wrong for her to be hiding her still and telling people that she is not her daughter. That's wrong. It's completely wrong. A lot of African women do this, and I'm going to use this opportunity to talk to you African women or women out there who are single parents. You have a child. When you get into a relationship, you better tell that man that you're dating about your situation. Don't hide your child. Your child is not a disease. It's not an illness. It's not an unfortunate thing. You don't know what that child is going to be. Look at how intelligent this girl is. She already has her first degree. She's going to grad school. You don't know what she's going to be. She might be the one that will save you in your old age more than that your son, that you think, my son, because of man. A lot of African women, once they are single parents or they had a child before they got married, when they meet a man, they will forget about that child and that man will become their life. Imagine, she left this girl and moved to another city, according to what she told us, because of man. Because of man. Man. I don't want to say anything before they will say I'm bashing men. I don't want to say anything. See, this child is your old age. Is the one that will wipe your tears, the one that will wipe your face. Is the one that will say, Mom, are you okay? Do you need bra? Do you have food? Do you need to go to the hospital? Is this girl, not that man that you think you are running after because you want to marry. Because all these women always feel like the man is doing them a favor by marrying them because they already have a child. I was so pleased when a lady I know in London was telling me a few days ago that she was divorced. She has 3 kids from her first marriage. And then she started talking to this man that she's married to. You know what she told me? She said that when they were going to meet the guy's mother, that he was saying to her that they shouldn't tell the mother that she has 3 children. She said, she just told him, oh, let's go back. I'm not doing it again. Go. Just carry yourself and go. I'm not interested. If you want to hide my children and you want to start this relationship based on lies, my children are my children. The bond between children and their mother is forever. Men will come and go. If he sees another person, he can dump you and marry another person. I wish this woman knew all this. She wouldn't hide her own daughter. The man doesn't want to marry you because you have a child. Let him go. It's not for you. How do you hide your child and make her feel so insecure, so depressed because you want to form a new life? I'm so furious with that woman now, honestly. This is all the things they put in your head in Africa. Because, okay, you had a child as a teenager, big deal. We come to this obodooyinbo now. We see a lot of people over here that have children. A child is not something to be ashamed of. Now you are making this girl feel like she is like a burden. She didn't ask to be born. It is wrong. So the other story I was telling you about, the lady that told me, she told the guy, if you know that you are going to go and tell your mother that I don't have children, when I have 3 children, then this marriage is not for me. Let's not even bother. And incidentally, when they got to the mom, he told the mom about her 3 children, she was married before and everything. The mom accepted her. The person that will love you irrespective of your past. Your past is your past. And there's a reason why you have it. But everybody has a past. Some people hide their past. It's like this woman, what I suspect is that she's trying to hide this child as her past. An ugly past that she's trying not to remember. It's like she don't want to forget. Imagine finding out that the girl's father died and you never even bother to tell her. Haba. It's not good now. It's not good. Why are you behaving like this? Eh? Now she went out. She managed to finish school. Thank God the girl is, her head is properly screwed on. She's living on her own. By herself. You told her to come back home so that she can come and be paying bills. If you know that she wants to go to grad school, she's saving. Why don't you help her? You have a job. You're a nurse. And the worst part is that you'll be planning your life, going on holidays, and you're excluding her from your life. Family can be a blessing. Family can be the best thing that happened to you when they are loving, they are there for you, they support you, they encourage you, they pray with you, they pray for you. Yeah. But some families can be toxic and you need to run very far away from them. Run, don't look back. And I think this is the kind of situation we have here. Mothers. A mother is supposed to be gold, precious, irrespective of whatever you go through in life. Your child is your child. You never ever disown your child or treat her as if she does not exist because you have a new family now, so you are pretending. Who are you deceiving? The man knows that you have a child. Why are you pretending? It's not the best. What I will say to you, my darling, I know you're going to watch this. In conclusion, there's a lot. I think your head is so screwed on. You already know you're going to have therapy. You know you need to move out. I mean, you have all the answers. But take your time. And the thing I'm going to ask you to do, if you are a Christian, I believe you're a Christian, you're going to have to forgive your mom. Yeah. I know you're not expecting that, but that is what you need to do. That is the only way that you can free your mind and your heart from all the anger, resentments that you hold against her. And when you do that, all that pain will go. You'll see, it will go. Because when you have so much hurt, somebody has hurt you, and you hold on to it, it's you that is suffering. You are the one suffering. She's getting on with her life. She's going on holiday with her new husband and her son. And, forget the fact that she didn't tell you about your dad. I don't know what happened between her and your dad. Maybe, whatever. Like, your dad family are not great anyway, because look at it now. You manage to find them on Facebook. All they need is money. The poor man is dead. So, may his soul rest in peace. Move on with your life, and I will advise you to forgive your mother. You need to. Because when you forgive her, you will be free. I did ask her, because we chatted a bit more later on Instagram. I said, have you had this discussion with your mother? Have you sat down to talk to her? She said, many times. She's very dismissive. Anything I say, she just dismisses it as if, why are you so emotional? Why are you always talking about things? I don't want to talk about it. She never takes anything serious. But outside, she does like she's this loving, dovey mother who is there for her children. But it's like she never loved this girl because of whatever experience she had when she got pregnant early. So the young girl is suffering emotionally, mentally, and she doesn't even know. It's a pity. See, my darling, what you need to do is forgive your mother. Even if she doesn't listen to you, ask God to give you the heart to forgive her. Because when you forgive her, you free yourself from all that hurt, all that pain. You know how somebody described forgiveness? He said unforgiveness is like you drink poison and you expect the other person to die from it. So you are the one now that holds that hurt, that guilt, that resentment, everything against your mom. You need to let go. And the only way you can let go is to forgive her. Forgive her. Take it like this. You see how I explained? That's why I brought myself into the equation, and I told you about my upbringing, how my mom was so strict, and having a boyfriend. I'm telling you, and it's not real boyfriend though. It was just, secondary school boyfriend that you'll be sending notes. Hey, how are you? Have you done your homework? All those kind of boyfriend. It wasn't like anything intimate. But my mom still showed me pepper for that. So this is the experience she's had. Unfortunately, she's transferred that aggression to you, that pain, everything she went through. She blames you for why she couldn't go to America when her siblings were going. She blames you for why it took her time to get back to her life, to her college, to whatever she wanted to achieve. Not remembering, or she forgot that you are a blessing. You are a blessing because you are a child. You've got hopes, you've got dreams, you have a lot to offer. So forgive her. Forgive her. When you finish forgiving her, see, pack your load. Pack your load and move. Move away from that environment because you are not needed there. You can tell that you are not needed. Even if it's one room, I'm sure they got shared accommodation in the US. Look for a room, look for a roommate, stay somewhere, plan your life, don't be in a hurry. But when you release that anger from your heart through forgiveness, you feel better. In time, your mom will come to realize it. I hope she does before it is too late. She will come to realize that God never make any mistake in our life. Never. Anything that happens in your life, there is a reason why God allowed it. Take it from me. There's a reason why God does everything. Yeah, there's a reason. Don't worry, you are not a mistake. God knew what you will go through. He chose your mother to bring you to this world. Just embrace your life. Keep pushing forward in your life. Your mother will come and apologize when she realizes that you are not a mistake. And I don't think she doesn't love you. I think she does love you. But she's still hurt from what happened to her with your dad. And she needs therapy as well. She needs to deal with whatever happened between, herself and your mom and your father, and let that go. Yeah. And please don't stress yourself about your grandparents. If you can, whatever you can help them. I'm not saying don't help them because they supported you, they raised you. So we always have an obligation towards our parents as Africans. You're an African, so you need to know that. But don't kill yourself. Do what you can and be focused. I'm sure you'll be okay. Yeah, I'm sure you'll be okay. So guys, I'm going to leave it here today. But I hope we can learn one or two things. Women, please, if you have children, don't hide your children. Oh, your children are your life. Oh, they are your future. They are everything to you. Because of any man, say man wants to marry you. Don't do that. They didn't ask to be born. It is your duty and your responsibility, irrespective of how they came about or how you got pregnant. It is your duty to love them. It is your duty to tell them that it doesn't matter that their father is not in the picture, that you are there for them. Because trust me, you will reap the reward of those children. You will. Nobody sows and does not reap. You will reap it. Just do your part and leave the rest to God. So I'm just going to leave it here today, guys. Leave me your thoughts in the comment section and I shall speak to you in my next video. Thanks a lot for watching. I love you. Bye-bye.